All right, we are now on our sixth episode of Chakra 101, and we're going to be talking about our third eye today, our sixth energy center of our body, the energy centers that run from our crown, the top of our head, to the base of our spine. And as we've been learning, we can work with them to help us balance different physical, mental, and emotional, energetic fields within our body. And our third eye is the chakra, the energy center that most yoga teachers, meditation practitioners, they're going to have you start by balancing this chakra. And the reason why is our third eye is in control and it centers all around our intuition and our ability to be intuitive, right? So it's located right here. Let me back up. The reason why they're going to have us do this first, the reason why it's most of our meditation practices, when we do chakra meditations, we want to open that third eye to begin with, is it's going to allow our intuition to come to the forefront and help us as we work through, strengthen, balance, harmonize all the others, right? All the lower five chakras from that sixth chakra, helping us tune in and tap into that intuitive sense will guide you in noticing if your root chakra is imbalanced, noticing if your root chakra needs some strengthening, or noticing if it is balanced, right? That is where that intuitive sense comes in. So when we first learn how to connect to our third eye into that intuitive part of ourselves, that connection, that bridge from our physical to our spiritual worlds, it helps us then attack all areas of our life with a sense of truth and knowing that if we don't have it, we may go astray, or we may think that things are worse, better than they are, right? So it's right here. And people often say it's in between your eyebrows. It's just, I mean, it's when your energy centers spin, they change shapes, they get bigger, they get smaller, depending on, right, the strength that they're spinning in. That's to say, even if we look at our physical muscles, right, we might say our arm is right here, but if I gain more muscle, or I gain more fat, or I lose fat or lose muscle, it's changing shape. But in general, my bicep is right here. So in general, your third eye center is right here in between. Some people it's real small, some people it's real big. But in our slides, I have some amazing, I need to take off this bracelet, it's bugging me. In our slides, I have some amazing added diagram today that will help us to visualize really where this energy center is and how it connects to different glands. All of our energy centers encompass glands, as it's all part of how our body runs, the hormonal system, the endocrine system, all of that is connected into the energy centers. So again, it's right here. Its color is an indigo, like a really purple, bluey indigo. Gorgeous, gorgeous color, right? And it is all about the seeing and the knowing. This chakra's responsible for our insight, our inner wisdom. It's associated with perception and imagination and just a spiritual awareness, this connectedness between our feet on the ground and our head in the clouds, right? Um, the parts of our body that it encompasses, as you've probably noticed, follow suit all the way up. So we're talking about our eyes and our brain, our skull, our hair, all of this area right here. When we did the throat chakra last week, I talked about how sometimes people who have a imbalanced or blocked throat chakra might be experiencing um uh, oh my gosh, I messed up even last week too when I said this. What is strep throat, tonsillitis, right? So if people's third eye is blocked, they're going to have some sinus issues, some sinus blockage. Maybe even people have nose problems, right? So that whole area right here. And you'll come to find out when we learn more about the third eye, it's this our frontal cortex, right? Where we're responsible for that thinking brain, organizing, executive functioning skills, right? So sometimes people who have some of the executive functioning skills, we tend to be um, imbalanced, meaning too much in that third eye spiritual realm and not enough of the balance of the third eye, right? And you'll see as I go into more detail about being blocked and imbalanced and an overactive or an they call it too open. In a third eye that's too open, we have these symptoms that come about. So, if our third eye is blocked, right? It's blocked, it's clogged, it's imbalanced. We are seeing these inabilities to plan for the future, set goals, right? Or we're setting kind of delusional goals, really, right? Like setting goals that, you know, how they talk about in coaching, we talk a lot about SMART goals, right? Like, is it obtainable? Is it realistic? Like, oftentimes, if you are blocked, you are either shooting the bar real low or way it's making no sense, right? Like, it would be me being like, okay, I've got this goal that by 2026, I'm going to be playing for the WNBA, right? Like, and really thinking that, right? So, or we have these grandiose delusional goals, right? It's it's blocked when you are actually ignoring your intuition, right? When you have an intuitive nudge or your something says, do this, don't do that, right? Those intuitive hits and you ignore them, it's truly that it's blocked. You're having these you can a really blocked one, right? Then we start to get into different like hallucinations, paranoia, nightmares, not sleeping well, insomnia, um, poor intuition, difficulty thinking or being imaginative or curious about the future. Your physical symptoms of a blocked third eye are headaches, like frequent headaches, frequent confusion, or uh, eye strains. If you find yourself being, like we were talking about, delusional, right? Like not delusional as in psychosis, but having this fearful delusion, the paranoia that goes with that, that is a real blocked third eye. And again, I all of the episodes, my website, everything. This is not medical advice. This isn't guidance. We're going to help you get your third eye clear so that you can trust your own intuition and not trust somebody telling you what is right or wrong, right? So, this is all information. This is all information that I've learned from my teachers that I use in my practice for my chakra balancing. And I'm just sharing it with you. Take what you like, leave the rest. So, when we're in balance with our third eye, we have awareness, we have good memory, we're planning for the future, realistic planning for the future. That doesn't mean you aren't setting goals that are amazing and you want to meet them, but you're realistic. You're in a good balance of realism plus desire and dreaming, right? You've got this balance of of realms, of worlds, right? So you're sleeping well, you're recalling your dreams. You are the physical symptoms or signs that you've got a balanced third eye are this clearness that we're talking about with good memory and awareness, but also when your third eye is activated, and so over probably the last 6, 7 years, when I stopped drinking, my third eye became so clear that I started having like definite like twinges and almost this like electrical vibration feeling in this area when I would open it up. When we are it's so you have like plant medicine, alcohol, marijuana, all sorts of drugs can either aid in opening your third eye or hinder it, right? And alcohol is a huge hindrance of our intuition, of our third eye. I don't know a lot about plant medicines, but there are some like ayahuasca, things like that, that people do to open up and get in. So you really need to do your own investigation around what um sort of I guess additional recreational usage that can help you if you want to do that. But I know for certain for me and for other people that I've worked with or some friends, when you cut out that alcohol, which is a toxin for our body, the second we drink it, our body thinks we've ingested poison. It blocks your third eye. It's amazing to me the growth of all my energy centers, getting that balance to my third eye. Anyways, I mentioned that because that was one of my first signs was having this um, electrical feeling right here, not pain at all, but sensation. Really kind of neat, really kind of cool. So you'll get that. And then you'll also start to have clairsentience, which is a sort of ability, different clairs, right? Like you have clair I forget the name for clair visions, but clair audience, you're hearing things, right? You're feeling, seeing, and sensing these clairs. Your intuition, your psychic abilities are just in tuned and heightened and clear. It's amazing. It's clear. They're clear. Anyways, you've got your inner wisdom and you can feel a sense of lightness in your head. Not airy, but just lighter than when you are feeling that blocked, heavy, fearful, eye strain, confusion, right? And now there is this um people love to open their third eye because it does help us make a connection to the non-physical world that is literally right there. People who have a third eye, have an opened third eye, can actually start to see what scientists know and what physiology, like it tells us everything is vibrating. When your third eye is open, you can actually start to see that objects are vibrating, right? Everything has a vibration to it. And so when we are so people love that I started to say, so people love to open their third eye. But if your third eye is too open, right, you're going to start to have an obsession with your third eye opening, an obsession with all things supernatural and psychic. It borders into that obsessive, compulsive, obsessive drive for this type of knowledge. And it even can become reckless, where you're going to start to um, blame things or use it as an excuse is really what my teacher was explaining when she taught me about how things can be too open. Is you're going to start to say, well, I can't be held responsible for that behavior because I was really following my intuition and my third eye was guiding me into behaving in this manner or to purchasing this, right? Whatever it is, when we start to blame it, right, then it's using it recklessly and as an excuse. And that could be that it's too open. You are now becoming reckless with it, these obsessiveness around being intuitive, right? Having hallucinations and nightmares are definitely ways that it looks like it's too open or blocked, depending on what those. So nightmares really, like, so if your hallucinations and nightmares are fearful to you, it's blocked, right? Because then there's an element to them. But if you are having hallucinations grandiose, right, then it's more too open, right? So sometimes it gets convoluted with this blocked, too open, whatnot. But when we focus on making a connection to our inner and outer worlds, it becomes clearer to you what blocked and in harmony and too open and all that means to you. And you can work with somebody. You can work with somebody, whether it's a Reiki master. I do it for my mindfulness clients with chakra balancing and looking at everybody's personal energy centers, right? So you can find people to help you guide yourself through this, right? So I wanted to actually start today's episode with the card because I forgot last time. I forgot last week, so I did a little mini. I hope you saw the little mini video with our card. These have become such a fun thing. People really, I love getting you guys' feedback on what you like and what you don't like and what you want more of, right? People love the oracle cards, the it's a divination tool, right? It's helping us to tap into our intuition because whatever is on the card that I pull is going to mean something different for everybody, and the words hit everybody different. And that's where we can lean into our intuition to discover what it means for us. So in case this is your first time joining us for this chakra series, we've been at least the last couple chakras, we've been pulling a card. So today we have all the cards that are associated with our third eye. Do you guys like that band, Third Eye Blind? All right. In my newsletter, my subscribers got a little hint. I have been, as I was doing the slides and doing my notes for this episode, for the last week's episode, the throat chakra, music comes to me as I'm doing them. And so I had to share last week's because I kept getting DJ Cool, Let Me Clear My Throat. And so for third eye, I've just been getting like Third Eye Blind songs. All right, so we're shuffling, and we're going to pull a card for our collective. And this is the one right here. Seeing, which is actually seeing and knowing are the two kind of words for our third eye. Seeing, and it's number 37. Again, if you are one of my numerology or angel number peoples, 37. Perspective, truth, knowledge, and clarity. Perspective, truth, knowledge, and clarity. So let's check out what the book has to say. And I definitely do not read you guys the whole thing. I read a snippet, but I got this off of you know where, Amazon. You can get it for yourself. If you're curious what the whole thing is, email me and I'll take a picture and send it to you. All right, so we've said perspective, truth, knowledge, and clarity. I love how they put perspective and truth together because, right? Is it the same thing? I don't know. Look with new eyes upon the world you are creating. Expand your view, and your whole reality will grow with it. I love what it's trying to say about just creating an awareness and allowing a different possibility to emerge, right? Be willing to let go of restricted ways of seeing things. This, oh, I'm gonna maybe do another episode, but I'll give you what just came to me. But okay. Be open to not knowing and not understanding some things. Acknowledge new ideas, slowly allowing yourself to evolve and play evolve your place in the world to unfold. That doesn't make sense. Slowly allowing yourself to evolve and your place in the world to unfold. Two different things. Evolve and your place in the world unfold, right? So that little sentence there, be willing to let go of restricted ways of seeing, right? So oftentimes when we are seeing things in a restricted way, it is because we've had an experience or information from somebody else that then our conscious mind took it in and told our subconscious mind that that's the way you're going to think, right? So I love this little trick. I'm going to go into it. I'll do another episode just solely on this way of reframing, right? We want to, when we are growing, we're very careful with the words that we use and how we are representing ourselves in the world, right? We don't have control over what someone else is saying, right? Or how they're presenting in the world. So this is such a great mindfulness tool, right? So we have people who everybody loves to share their viewpoint, right? They want to share their viewpoint. I mean, that is what my whole teachings and tangents is about, is I want to share with you, right? So if there's something that I say that you, through your open third eye, can intuitively say, that's not for me. So you're going to say that out loud, right? So if somebody says to you, marriage is really hard, right? If you resonate with that, great. If you don't, after someone says, marriage is hard, marriage is really hard, you can either say this out loud, but be sure to say it in your head, say it to yourself, say it to your subconscious. Maybe for you, right? So anytime somebody says, "Oh, you have to work really hard to get a good job. You have to go to school and work really, really hard to make money." Maybe for you. If somebody shares their opinion, their insight, their view, and you do not resonate with it and you don't want to accept it, state that. That is such an amazing way to stand in your own power. That was a tangent, and I really want to do an episode on that. Let me know if you want to hear an episode on that as well. So we're going to dive right into our slides. I've been going a little too tangency on these. So here we are. We are all the way up here. Can you guys believe we made it? We're on number 6. I love it. Again, a little review of all of our chakras. If this is your first time joining us for the third eye, go back and watch the 5 previous episodes. And today we are doing our third eye. Here is our symbol: doubt less and trust more. I know that you're getting intuitive guidance. I know you're getting intuitive hits. I know you're hearing, seeing, feeling things. Doubt those less and trust them more. The more you learn to trust your inner wisdom and your inner guidance, the more you are going to be living in alignment. The more you're going to be living the life that you are here to live, right? All right, so we have our symbol, and it's 2 lotus petals, with the lotus flower with the 2 petals and upside down triangle. This center, now all of the symbols that I've shown you, I don't really go into the center and into the Sanskrit symbol, the Hindu symbol. So, but this is actually the symbol for Om. And now if you do yoga, meditation, chanting, you know that Om is one that they say a lot, and that is the sound of your third eye, Om, O-M, right? So that's another little tidbit for you there. The 2 petals. What these two petals mean on this symbol is the final duality of earth, the self and God, our human self and God. This is where they meet in our third eye, right? It's that ego and our highest self, our earthly mind body and our soul, our earthly mind, our soul, our heavenly, our divine, our universe, that we have universe, divine, God, mind, body, soul, and we have our earthly mind, body, soul, right? The soul is that bridge. So there is our symbol. This is what I wanted to show you guys because this one is so fascinating, right? So on this, we have up here, this yellow is our crown. Our crown actually goes by purple for the rainbow, but it's also this golden white color. We'll get to that next week, but this is our crown right here, right? And our crown runs down, and we've got our pituitary gland and our pineal gland. And this is another interpretation of that symbol that has the two lotus flowers. Now, with my little dot here, I'm going to show you our third eye is right in line with that pineal gland. If you're into Joe Dispenza, he has some amazing meditation, some amazing teachings on how to work with this pineal gland. And that's really him, as well as other spiritual teachers, teach us that this chakra really centers around this pineal gland when it's firing, right? So within the pineal gland, it is responsible in our hormonal system. It's responsible for melatonin. It is the perfect example of the two petals, night and day, light and dark, right? So, but we also have it offset by our pituitary gland, which you'll see here is the female, the yin, and the pineal gland is the male, the yang. The solar is goes with the pineal, and the lunar goes with the pituitary. So this is just an amazing image that there's a website that I love to go to. It's right here inside a soul, and that's where I screenshot this from. So check them out. They've got amazing information on this combination, this merging of our third eye, our crown, and the throat gland right here, the thyroid. It talks all about how our glands enter these energetic wheels, these chakras, right? So this little diagram here shows us again that duality within even our endocrine system, within our male, female, yin yang, solar, the lunar cycles, all of that. It's amazing. So now we'll get into our normal slideshow, and we've got, again, the location between our eyes. And for my numerology fans, my angel numbers, we've got number 6, which is, I just love how everything is connected, and I love when it feels so right when I start to learn about all of this and I learn more about it, and I've discovered new stuff doing research for you guys, which is, I love that. So number 6, this is what I discovered about number 6. Not only is it balance and perfect expression of love, number 6 in Greek, mathematicians, Greek history, 6 is the perfect number, right? It is the ultimate number. All creation goes back to 6. I think it's 4 numbers in in this theory, and 6 is the first one of a perfect number. I love that. I may not be describing it exactly correct, but it's amazing to know that where our energy chakra lies of combining our earthly and heavenly bodies is this perfect number. I love that. So the mantras or the affirmations that we have would be I see and I know. I trust, which is a knowing, right? I trust my highest good is unfolding. I trust that. I choose to tap into my inner wisdom. I see all things with clarity and I know my truth. Those are just that's just an example of some affirmations or some mantras that you can say. And I told you that the Om is the symbol and mantra. The element is light. And it's light because of that ability to see and take in the things around us, to shine light on what is dark, to shine light on things that we can't see. So with our foods, we've got elderberries, boysenberries, figs, purple grapes, eggplants, purple carrots, Brazil nuts, walnuts, dark chocolate. And if you look at this list, a lot of these items, they're, you know, they correspond with things people tell you to eat to maintain healthy sleep patterns, to maintain that melatonin, serotonin, dopamine exchange that happens, right? So that's really kind of cool. And these fruits and vegetables and food items are either in that family of indigo and purpley blue stuff, or they have the elements that help us with the pineal gland, which is really kind of cool. Now, planets. The moon is not a planet. This is something that maybe everybody else already knew, but the moon is not a planet. It's considered like a satellite because the planets have to go around the sun, where the moon does not. The moon satellites us. So the moon is represented for the third eye, but so is Jupiter, which is a planet, right? Wait, is Jupiter the one that's not a planet anymore? Oh dear God. Anyways, and it's this theory of the moon being that like we talked about in previous episodes, right? The moon of fullness, of knowledge, of shining light in the dark, right? Kind of cool. Our crystals, lazuli, right? Solidite, sapphire, celestite. This right here is the solidite. It's such a beautiful stone. All of these brighter blue stones would fall into the category of our third eye and things we can do to strengthen it. Now, a tip that I love to do, and I think I mentioned this in an earlier video as well, is with my mantras for my third eye, I grab my sapphire, I grab the lapis stone, and I anchor one of those mantras to that stone, meaning that I apply it to it, I say it, I hold it. It now is anchored into my head that when I see that stone, I repeat that mantra. So this is something that I do for a lot of my crystals and a lot of my affirmations. And so now that just doesn't stay in my meditation yoga area, right? So my third eye one, I actually keep in my car. I keep one in my car and I look at it and it reminds me of my affirmation, right? That I will seek clarity, right? And it's not that I need it while I'm driving. It just is, it's a touchstone for me to bring me back. Normally, when I get in my car, I'm in a transition period from leaving someplace to going to another, right? And that's where I like to take a moment and pause is when I am transitioning from one event to another. It reminds me of that. It reminds me to pause and to get centered. So that's a tidbit you can do with your crystals is attach one of the affirmations that you love to it. Carry it in your pocket, put it on your bedside table, put it in the bathroom near the mirror, Whatever works for you works for you. So here we are with our yoga poses and stretches. And again, I will tell you, this is not medical advice. This is not directions. It's not prescriptions. It's information for you to take to do with what you will. So this is called the thunderbolt position. And even typing it into Canva to make these little slides for you, I had trouble. So she's actually seated on her ankles. So that would be the position, right? Now, that might be a difficult position for some people. So you can actually put a pillow in between your bum and your ankles, right? So now you're sitting on a pillow or a cushion, right? To soften that knee joint. You can also take and mimic the upper portion and sit with your legs straight out. Do whatever modifications you want for any of these yoga poses, because I believe it's the intention. If you're sitting intentionally with this pose in mind, right? Whatever your modification is, your intention is going to be there. And that's all that matters as far as I'm concerned. But again, it's not medical advice and it's not directions or prescriptions. So now we have our lotus, and I believe we also had lotus last week. So for this, I wanted to show you, did we have lotus last week? Anyway, look at my third eye is blocked. I can't remember. So we've got somebody here with the lotus, and she's got her feet up. She's taking her feet onto her thighs. That is like the true lotus position, hands open at your tops of your knees, right? Or you can do it in a prayer pose. Now, this isn't really comfortable for me. I don't do it this way. Maybe you don't like it either. Sit cross-legged as close as you can would be the closest to the original modification, right? But sit comfortably. You can even get pillows and put them underneath your knees here, right? If it's uncomfortable to splay your arms outward, put them face down on your leg, or even just put them in your lap, however it works for you. This third eye opening pose, the child pose, is one that is not only physically, you're now putting pressure onto that third eye region, right? Depending on either one you do, right? You're going to be putting some pressure onto that forehead. The amount of pressure is up to you. So we can do, this is the extended child's pose or a resting child's pose where your hands are behind you or in front of you. You can also put a pillow right here so that you are more at a 90-degree angle with your child's pose. I love this pose for third eye opening on a few levels. Like I said, you're putting some pressure onto that area. You're activating it physically. You can do this to activate it physically, right? Like if you have a question for your soul, question for your higher power, you can even tap right in and activate it. Imagine, visualization is amazing for all of our chakras, but this chakra in particular. Imagine that wheel spinning. Imagine it creating energy, creating heat, and then get quiet and ask your question. I love it. Tell me if anything comes through when you do this. So again, this child's pose I love because it puts pressure on that area, but also it reminds me that I believe we come to this earth with probably all of our chakras ready, balanced, ready to go. But that third eye chakra is open. So many young children are able to intuitively know what is right and wrong for them. And we as adults often question that, right? Make them do things, which is so bizarre. But anyways, so that this pose, when I get into it, reminds me to fall back into that sense of innocence, that natural knowing, that that time when we trusted ourselves. We knew what was right and what was wrong, and that veil to the non-physical world was thinner. We had just left, right? So we're able to get more in touch. Grab your pens and your papers, or take a oh, whoops, wrong way. Or take a screenshot of this. Um, and these are all amazing questions to sit and get clear with your third eye, right? What beliefs do I continue to accept that I know are not true? This is where you already know, you've already tapped in. Your third eye, it's like knocking on the door, right? It's saying this isn't right. But what are they? What are those beliefs? And just pull back, like we've talked about in all of them. Pull back, and we're not getting knee deep into these with emotion. We're just really getting very analytical. What beliefs do I continue to accept that I know are not true for you, right? Do I accept and honor and follow my intuition? Do you? Do you want to? What do I see or perceive when I connect to my third eye? So when you get quiet, and you might even tap or bring in some visualization, imagine an indigo light coming into that space, right? What do you see? Get curious. What is that there for you? How do you feel when you see it? Does it scare you? Does it make you curious, right? Okay, and this, I love this. It's along the same lines as our first question, but I feel intuitively that, right? What is it? What's something that you just know? Like you know it, you see it, you feel it, you know it. It's truth to you. What is that? And what daily practices can you do to cultivate this relationship with your intuition? How are you going to make space for it? Right. So, for instance, this looks like daily affirmations, working with a divination tool like a pendulum, or praying, meditation, oracle cards, right? What does that look like for you? Daily journaling about what's in store for me. How do I want to feel today? That's an intuitive question. How do you want to feel? What outcomes do you want to happen today? Right? We're guiding into that intuitiveness. Um, it's often said that prayer is speaking to God, speaking to the universe, but meditation is listening. And as we learned last week with our throat chakra, any good relationship has good communication. So we want to make sure that we are both speaking and listening to our intuition. We're both speaking and listening to our highest self, that guidance, that universal guidance, that God, divine, whatever you call it, right? Your highest self, God, divine, universe, all, I mean, I'm probably missing 1,000 words for it, but so these are all amazing ways that you can begin to balance, strengthen, and support your third eye. And remember that working on your third eye will affect and intensify working on all your other chakras. So with that, we already pulled our card. We got the seeing card. If you'd like a snapshot of everything that the book has about it, this book right here, email me. Let me know. I'll send it to you. And if you want to get into the learning circle, which is the community that I have, we often do a lot of intuitive guidance work. I help you strengthen your intuitive relationship with yourself. And we do a lot of different mindfulness practices all around strengthening and balancing all of your chakras and motivating yourself to create the life that you want. So the learning circle is waiting for you. We're just waiting for you to join us. We'll see you soon. We'll see you next week for the crown chakra. Until then.